Welcome to my 2025 office setup. This is where I plan, shoot, edit, and run my creative business and work my 9-to-5 job. I've designed a setup to allow me to quickly switch between my day job and my creative work, and I also included my gaming PC so that we have 3 computers hooked up to the setup. This entire office and setup is a complete work in progress. We moved here back in February of this year, and it's a completely different room than what I had at the previous house. If you haven't seen that previous video, I'll link in the description down below so you can go check it out for yourself. But we have completely changed the entire layout of the office, and we've added a lot of new things to it. Everything I mentioned in this video is going to be linked in the description down below in case any of it catches your eye. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're starting off with the desks and the chair. I've gone from a single desk to having a secondary desk that creates this L shape. The original desk is the IKEA carvable countertop on a standing leg frame by Huano, which by the way is not sponsoring this video. None of these brands are sponsoring this video. I upgraded the legs to the standing legs before we moved, and I've loved them so far. They are dual motor and can handle up to 265 pounds, which is plenty because before we moved, I had everything on this desk. I had all 3 computers, including my heavy desktop computer on top of this desk, and I even had 4 computer screens at one point. So needless to say, this was more than capable of taking on the weight. There are 3 programmable settings that you can have on this. I have it set to my seating position, a storage position so I can put my chair underneath the desk, and I have it set to the highest setting at 47.2 inches, which is my standing position. I'm a pretty tall guy, so that's the height that I put it at, which just so happens to be the max height. Cable management underneath my desk is currently pretty messy because I'm constantly changing things around, but I do use these IKEA storage rack cable management things that a lot of people have used. Can't remember the name of them, so I put them up on screen for you. And so far they've been working pretty well for me. My previous solution was much worse than this, so I'm definitely happy with it. All I do is bundle up my cables as best I can and shove them up there and hope it sits. Now the new desk addition that I have is a mixture of my old setup paired with a new top. The steel legs I'm using on this tabletop are ones I got off of Amazon for about 80 bucks, and they are what I used to have before I had the standing desk set up. And I did have an adjustable IKEA leg in the middle to prevent any sagging issues, but I don't need it on this desk because it's much shorter. The top is a simple butcher block I got from Menards. I wanted to get something that was cheaper and didn't mind if it was unfinished. I do plan to stain it in the future to match as closely as I can to the IKEA Carlby color because I really do like for them to look similar. I didn't go with another Carlby simply because the cost of them and space limitations within the room. And I also don't live near an IKEA. The closest one is in Chicago, so that's just a whole trip. If you've ever done any sort of staining on countertops, please feel free to leave a comment down below for any tips that you may have. I have no idea how I'm going to approach this, but I have a general understanding of how it works. My office chair is nothing special. It's just a simple office chair I got from Staples a little over 4 years ago. It's not my favorite. It's pretty uncomfortable and the cushion has pretty much flattened out all the way, so I can't sit in for very long without being uncomfortable. I do sit cross-legged a lot and my posture seems to suffer a bunch from this chair, so I'm hoping to be able to upgrade to a chair where I can sit comfortably cross-legged or my feet on the floor and have better posture. So if you have any recommendations for any good chairs out there that are under $300, let me know in the comments because I would love to be able to save up for one. Now we're gonna move over to the computer setups. I'm gonna just break down my main computer setup. My gaming computer, I'll skim over it. If you do wanna know more about it, let me know. It's built back in 2017, so there's really not much to talk about it other than the fact that it's old. And I'm also gonna skip over my work computer setup because who cares? My main computer that I use for literally everything now is my MacBook Pro M3 Max. I have the 16-inch base model version and it's more than plenty for what I use it for. And like I mentioned, I do have the base model, which is the 1 terabyte SSD with 36 gigabyte of RAM, and this computer literally eats everything that I throw at it. Some may think that I went overkill on getting the Max, but I honestly don't care. I wanted to put the extra money into it knowing that was gonna last me a long time. This computer has been a major upgrade for me. I did come from a MacBook M1 Air that I owned for a few years, and that thing was just for light editing with my photos and some video. But when I got into content creation more seriously, it was starting to slow down a bit, so that's why I made the jump to the M3 Max. It's hooked up to a docking station about 90% of the time, and that docking station is just a simple HP docking station that I got from work. It does support the MacBook with Thunderbolt 4, and it does everything for me from my audio interface to my camera to my peripherals, etc. It's not my favorite docking station. I do have some bugs with it, and I do want to have a more dedicated docking station that is built for the MacBook, or at least supports it better. The monitor that these two computers are hooked up to is called the LG 29WK600-W. This is a 29-inch ultra-wide 21:9 IPS monitor. It does have HDR10 and it is FreeSync compatible. Now this monitor is a 2018 model, and that's when I bought it, and it was a super discounted monitor, but the color accuracy on it is actually pretty good. And so I've been using this over the years for my photo editing and my video editing. It is definitely on its way out the door. It's got a lot of connectivity issues right now, even when I swap out the cables. So if you have any good suggestions that are budget friendly that can do both gaming and editing, let me know in the comments, because homeboy needs to save up for that. It is currently sitting on a Huano dual monitor arm. It only has one arm on it right now because I normally have a stacked setup where the top monitor is my gaming monitor, but I wanted to try out the single monitor setup for right now. And plus, when I was trying to hook it up for this video, my computer was not able to communicate to both of them for some reason. And I think it had something to do with the computer just not wanting to work with really old monitors, or had something to do with my docking station. Either way, I couldn't figure out, got frustrated, and I decided not to do it for this video. Although the gaming monitor isn't hooked up right now, I will leave the link to the monitor in the description below, because it is a really nice Asus monitor. It's a TN panel, so it's super flat colors, and it is a 144 Hertz monitor. I bought it back in 2018, but it's still a pretty good monitor. On top of the monitor, I have this light bar by the company called Kuntis. They sent it out to me for free to review it. I do like having it. To the left of my monitor, I have my Sony a7 IV camera hooked up. This is where it will normally sit, so I can quickly turn on and record videos, or I'm taking it out with me in the field whenever I'm doing photo shoots. It's got a constant power supply hooked up to it and an HDMI cable that feeds into the Camlink 4K that is connected to a USB hub switch, so I can use it on both computers. This allows me to use my Sony a7 IV as a webcam on either computer, or I can use it to record videos on my main computer. Attached to the camera, I have the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 lens. This is my main lens I use for literally everything. I only own two, this one and the Sigma 70-200. And on top of that, I am using the DJI Mic 2 system, which is what you're hearing right now. And it also has the adapter used for Sony cameras. This is a really solid setup. The camera sits on top of a tabletop mount made by Newer. I did switch out the ball head with the Ulanzi ball head because it's a little bit more sturdy, but this also doubles as a light stand, which is what my key light is also sitting on currently. Moving on to the audio, I've kept it very simple, and I've had the same setup for over 6 years now. The audio interface I'm using is a Scarlett Red Solo Gen 3. This thing has been fantastic in every single way. The speakers I have hooked up to it are called the M Audio BX5s. These were a budget-friendly option for me at the time, and I do love them. They're really good for monitoring audio. They're not fantastic for listening to music, but again, that's pretty much any speaker that you're gonna have that's meant for monitoring audio. I used to have an XLR powered microphone hooked up to it, but for right now, I'm rocking a USB mic by Toner, which is actually the same brand of microphone I used in the past. They sent this microphone out to me to review, and it's been a great addition to it, since now I finally have a new microphone I can use for gaming with my friends, or if I want to do voiceover audio, I can use that microphone instead of the DJI mic. My lighting has been a huge learning curve for me personally, and only in the last year have I really started looking into getting proper lighting, because I've been taking on YouTube more seriously. Right now, my main key light is the Amran 60D with the Mini 3 hood. It's great for videos like this when I'm talking to camera, and it also is lightweight and portable, so if I want to use it out in the field for photography, I can do that. It comes with its own battery mount, so all you have to do is get some batteries, hook up to it, and you can take it with you anywhere. The other light that I'm currently using as a fill light / rim light is the GVM PL60C. GVM sent this out to me to do a review on it. It does not currently have a modifier on it, so it's kind of hard to use without it being super intense. It does use a mini Bowens mount system, so if you want to use this light with any sort of modifier, you pretty much have to get an adapter to make it a regular size Bowens mount. It is packed with some really neat features, different colors, different effects, etc. So you can use it for pretty much anything, and super lightweight and portable, and can carry it with you very easily. And the whole point of this setup is to have things small and compact to where I can put it all in the office at once, or I can take it with me on the go. In the future, I would love to have consistent lighting from the same company, so that way I have better color accuracy and I can control everything with one single app. The peripherals I'm using on my main desk are new, and I just started using them, and I really am enjoying them so far. The mouse I'm using is the Logitech G305 mouse, and I'm using the Keychron K3 keyboard. I was using the Magic Mouse and keyboard previously, but I want to try something new, and the Magic Mouse has been kind of a pain in my butt recently trying to use it. The peripherals I do have hooked up to my work setup are actually the old ones I was using on my gaming setup, and it is the HyperX FPS Alloy 60% keyboard, which I picked up for about 60 bucks at Best Buy 6 years ago. It's super loud and clinky, but it does have a really nice feel to it as a traditional mechanical keyboard. The mouse is the Logitech G502 Hero. This is a wired mouse, and back then I really focused on having wired peripherals because of latency for gaming, but now the wireless has gotten way better, and so I'm trying it out for the first time. As far as the feel of the office itself, I definitely have done a lot over the last few months. I do still have a lot of improvement that I can do, and I've been trying to add a little bit of detail here and there, but ultimately my issue right now is storage. So right now I'm using a cube organizer that I've had for years to store all the little bits here and there and have all my stuff charging. And then right next to it, I have a bookshelf that I picked up from Goodwill for 30 bucks just on a whim. And it's super awesome. It's really sturdy, and I like to put my gear up there, but it does all just turn up to be clutter. So I don't have it cleaned up for this video on purpose because I want to show you the reality of my situation. And right above those, I do have a pegboard by IKEA that I picked up a few months ago, and I really do love this. I love the aesthetic of it and putting the little bits on there. I also have Funko Pops of Deadpool scattered all over the place, so you can see one of those up there. And I have my very first fake plant. Proud of myself. Right next to that, I have a simple coat rack from IKEA where all my backpacks are sitting. And one of the most recent updates I've done this year is the very first print I have of 2025, and it is from the Indie 8 Hour this past season. This is my top performing photo so far on my socials, and so I decided to get it printed out and also offer it as a print if you want to buy it yourself. I'll have that information linked in the description below, but I'm very proud of this photo, so I wanted to hang it up on the wall. Overall, I have this idea of how I want the office to be designed, and it's slowly going to come into fruition. I do focus a little bit more on trying to work with what I have, but if you do have any suggestions on how I can spruce up the office a little bit, please let me know down in the comments. I am completely open to ideas. I do have this idea in mind of what my dream setup is, but it's likely not going to happen at this house. It probably will happen at the next house, because hopefully in the next house, I have a little bit more space. I do spend a lot of time in this room, anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day, whether it's working or I'm editing content or I'm filming content. And so I want to make all this as efficient and comfortable as possible, which is why I'm always changing things up. What I want to prioritize as soon as I can is storage and aesthetics of the room, because right now everything functions pretty well, but I want to have this be a more welcoming environment to where my family can come in here and hang out with me while I work, or if my friends come over and visit, they have a place to sit and hang out and just talk, whatever. Because this room is pretty much dedicated as just an office, but I do want people to feel welcome coming in here and admiring the stuff that I do. If there's anything in this video that I missed that you are interested in, please let me know in the comments down below. I did try to make this short and sweet to the point because there is a ton of things I could cover in this video, but I obviously respect your time. And so if there's anything you have questions about, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, everything that I mentioned in this video will be in the description down below. So if you want to go check it out for yourself, maybe pick up a new piece of gear, there you go. You got it. And that directly supports me without costing any extra to you. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.